What is up, everybody? I'm hoping you're all well and welcome back to the next episode of Film Friday, a series in which I use my handy little My Movies app, give it a little shake, and whatever movie it chooses from my wide collection will be a movie that I watch and review for you guys. And unlike the last two episodes, I'm not going to do an example this week because every example that I did gave me a pretty decent movie to watch, and then when I reshook, it gave me a shit one. So the first movie that this one comes up with will be the one that I review for you. So without further delay, let's see what it has. Not a bad film at all. See, I'm happy I didn't do an example. What would the next one be? Oh, an even better film. But still, I've got a good movie to watch. 2020 is starting to look up. The Silence of the Lambs. So The Silence of the Lambs follows FBI agent Khalees Starring, who is forced to seek help from former psychiatrist and cannibalistic serial killer Hannibal Lecter in order to apprehend another serial killer known as Buffalo Bill, who is going around killing young women around the country. And straight away, this is the first good movie that my app has randomly picked for me today that hasn't been an example. I'm really happy I skipped the example today, because it means I got to watch and I'm now ready to talk about one of my favourite movies of all time. The Silence of the Lambs is such an incredible, chilling crime thriller with top-notch performances, incredible directing, and a haunting score all to boot. I'll talk about the story first of all because it is one of those stories where if you're not really into the sort of crime, murder, mystery type films, you could probably find this movie a little bit boring, but if you do really like that sort of things, especially interviews with sort of psychotic killers such as Hannibal Lecter, who in himself is very dangerously intelligent and can read you like a book, you'd be able to open some dark doorways into your past without you even realizing. All of that mixed with a hunt for a serial killer that's killing young girls across the country just makes for a very investing and engaging experience. Granted, it's not for everyone, it is a very dark story. I mean, it's about serial killers, so if serial killers don't interest you, then you're probably not going to like the film. But if you do enjoy movies that are very character driven, as well as having some very intense and horrifying scenes, not so much in jump scare aspects, but more in the sense of building up that tension, and I can highly recommend this movie for you guys because it does have a lot of those chilling scenes, especially towards the end of the film, which is very intense. For those of you who have seen the film, you'll know exactly what scene I'm talking about, the scene where Buffalo Bill is wearing the night vision goggles and is stalking Clarice Starling around his house as she stumbles around the dark, not being able to see anything that's in front of her. That scene in itself is just heart-poundingly intense and puts you on the edge of your seat, helped especially by the performances and of course the score by Howard Shore. The score for this movie definitely complements the more horror elements of this film. It adds to the tension in scenes that it needs to add to. Howard Shore did an incredible job composing this film, and like I said, the performances are all fantastic. Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling is fantastic in this movie. She has that sort of vulnerability to her, being an up-and-coming FBI agent in training. She's really wanting to prove herself to her superiors and other people who may doubt her, so she's really pushing herself to try and solve this investigation, but in doing so she opens doors to a dangerous psychopath who can get into her head. That person being Hannibal Lecter, played to absolute perfection by Anthony Hopkins, who is absolutely incredible in this film. A very haunting, spine-chilling performance. It's no wonder that he is fondly remembered for his role in this movie because he absolutely blows it away. He's a scene stealer. His scenes with Clarice are definitely the high points of the movie. He barely has any screen time in his entire film, yet he leaves an impact in every single scene that he's in. And like I said, the dynamic he has with Clarice is just incredible. The chemistry between Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins is just great. They're both bouncing off of each other's energy really well. They're both giving career best performances. They are definitely the highlights of this film. That's not to say the rest of this movie is bad either. Every performance in this movie is outstanding. There's not a single bad performance in this film. The direction is absolutely spectacular. There are a lot of close-up shots during some of the more intense scenes which really do put you in that situation with these characters. You feel for them, you're scared. A lot of the wider shots do also show a lot of things in the background that are there as clues. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie that do point towards the killer. The movie doesn't try and hide who the killer is either. It's not a case of you going along with the FBI agents to try and work out who this guy is. It shows you off the bat who this guy is, and you're just joining these FBI agents as they try to track him down and stop him from killing his latest victim. And that's where the majority of the tension and the intensity comes from. The FBI agents scrambling to try and find the clues to find out who this guy is, while Clarice is interviewing a guy who may very well have the answer. But he won't just openly give the answer to Clarice. He likes playing his mind games, likes getting into people's heads, which just builds up the tension more as the movie reaches its ultimate climax. Overall, I don't really have a bad thing to say about this movie. I really do love this film. I think it's a very intense, thrilling horror. And while the horror elements aren't the sort of horror elements that you get in movies nowadays where it's non-stop jump scares, it is more that subtle horror that makes you feel more on edge and tense. And when a movie can make you feel like that, that's definitely a massive praise on not only the director's part or the writer's part, but also performances, the score. Everything in this movie just works. And so, for all those reasons, I have to give The Silence of the Lambs 5 stars. So, The Silence of the Lambs, have you guys seen it yet? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks again for watching, you guys are awesome, and I will see you all in the next video.